everybody. Up next, we've got a local activist that's going to speak with us. He's the co-founder of the Radical Student Union at UIS. He's a good friend of mine, and he used to have the most beautiful afro I've ever seen on a man. Everybody, put it together for Mr. Chris Blankenhorn.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out here. It's an honor to share the stage with the likes of Kathy Kelly, Josie, who I've known since I was in high school. But, it's very important that we're all here today. It's an important cause. It's an important conversation. And that's mostly what I'm going to talk about today, is that this is a conversation that needs to be had. It's one that's not being had. We're in a presidential election year right now. I don't think you've heard Bradley Manning's name mentioned once. I don't know if you've heard transparency mentioned once. In 2008, it was every other word out of Obama's mouth was transparency this, transparency that, protect whistleblowers, they're heroes. He actually called them heroes. And then as soon as Bradley Manning's WikiLeaks drop happened, you've got quotes from the same man who called whistleblowers heroes, writing Bradley Manning off as guilty. He said he's guilty. He's never been put to trial. The only person who's facing any charges whatsoever as a result to the WikiLeaks drop by Manning is Bradley Manning. No one's being punished for the collateral war damage. No one's being punished for the support of dictators around the world. There's no repercussions whatsoever for the actions of our government. The only person is Bradley Manning. He spent more than 6 months in solitary confinement, 23 hours a day. That apparently is the payment you get for being a hero in this country today. Kathy Kelly mentioned General McChrystal's leak is actually the most dangerous leak that we've had, the one that's endangered the most lives. And I think it's important to note who did Bradley Manning's leak, who endangered people due to Bradley Manning's leak. It wasn't Bradley Manning. Bradley Manning didn't kill anyone. Bradley Manning didn't give weapons to people to put down democratic revolutions. It was the U.S. government that endangered people. It was the actions of the U.S. government and people under its flag that brought us to where we are today, that caused the danger that is now blamed on Bradley Manning. So for me, the question is always, how do we change it? And I came back to the same answer I almost always come to when I run into a problem and want to know how we solve it, and that's we have to come together. I think that governments are reflections of their people. They're reflections of a society that they represent. We have a government that's bought and paid for by corporate interests. We have a government that cares more about the military-industrial complex than the people. And if we want to change that, if we want a different path, we have to come together. We have to fight what we believe in. We can't sit silently complicit. If you don't say anything about Bradley Manning, that's the same thing as saying you're okay with him being locked up. We have to be vocal. And one person can't be vocal. We've got to be vocal as communities. It's the only way that anything can happen. We have to take our future in our hands. We have to make demands of those who represent us. And if they're not representing us, we have to hold them accountable. If we want transparency, we have to do more. We're all out here today, and this is great. We need to do another one and another one and another one. Not just on Bradley Manning, but about every single thing that we're fed up about. We can't sit here and wait for benevolence from those in power. They got us where we are today. They're only going to dig a hole deeper. There's going to be no benevolence from the military-industrial complex. There's going to be no benevolence towards Bradley Manning from the government, from the military, from the intelligence agencies. If we want it, we have to get it. And the only way we can do that is together. We're running a little behind, so I'm going to help make up some time and cut it short. But I think that no matter what it is, whether it's Bradley Manning, whether it's drones, whether it's healthcare, no matter what your issue is, if you want to see change, you've got to get together. You've got to talk to your community, your friends, the people you don't even know. If we're not educated, we can't hope for any change. We can't hope for anything in the future. So, everybody go out, talk to your friends about what happened here today. Make sure they know about Bradley Manning, because right now no one knows. You don't hear it in the media. You don't hear it talked about. I think Bishop's probably the only person in Springfield mainstream media that actually spoke about it this week. And I can say that pretty much every single news media outlet in town got a press release every day this week. I mean, there was one from the Radical Student Union, one from the Foundation for United Front, one for the Veterans from Peace, one from the Voices for Creative Nonviolence. They know about it. They're not here. So it's our responsibility to make sure that the word gets out. Thank you very much. And like I said, it's an honor to be here to speak.